Every flea and tick box on the pet store shelf promises the same thing: total protection for your dog. But behind some of those boxes is a growing pile of FDA reports linking certain treatments to seizures and even death. Since 2013, the FDA has approved a newer class of flea and tick drugs, and while most dogs handle them just fine, adverse event reports keep mounting, with some dogs that never had a seizure in their life developing one within days of treatment. Experts believe these numbers are only the tip of the iceberg, since less than 10% of adverse events are typically ever reported to begin with. I investigated 8 major dog, flea, and tick brands and found that 6 of them carry serious red flags hiding behind their packaging. Only 2 actually hold up as a safer choice for your dog. Before we start, one important thing. The isoxazoline drugs on this list are still FDA approved and considered safe for the vast majority of dogs. This isn't about banned products or illegal pills. It's about understaffed reporting systems and rising numbers that every dog owner deserves to know about before they hand over their card at the vet counter. Number 6. Simparica. A single dose of Simparica runs around $33.84 a month, making it one of the pricier chewable tablets on the shelf. It belongs to a drug class called isoxazolines, and FDA adverse event data shows that seizures made up 20.5% of all reported reactions tied to this entire drug class. Even more concerning, the same data points to a 3.2% death rate among reported cases, the highest seizure rate of any flea and tick drug class on the market. For owners of dogs with any history of neurological issues, that's a number worth pausing on. Simparica is sold as a small, flavored tablet that dogs are meant to treat like a treat, swallowing it without a second thought. But once it's metabolized, the chemical doesn't just target fleas and ticks. It interacts with the nervous system itself, which is exactly why tremors and seizures keep appearing in adverse event reports. Number 5. NexGard. NexGard sits at roughly $36.75 a month, and it's one of the most heavily advertised chewables in vet clinics across the country. According to FDA reporting databases, NexGard has accumulated over 140,600 adverse events and more than 6,000 reported deaths. That's not a typo. 6,000 dogs whose owners filed a report after giving their pet a monthly chew meant to protect them. The packaging shows a happy, energetic dog running through grass, the kind of image that makes the product feel completely harmless. But scroll through pet owner forums and a different picture emerges: dogs collapsing hours after a dose, owners rushing to the emergency vet with a pet that suddenly can't stand. Most dogs tolerate NexGard without any issue at all, which is exactly why these numbers are so easy to overlook until it happens to your own dog. Number 4. Comfortis. At around $22 a month, Comfortis is priced lower than most of its isoxazoline competitors, but the adverse event numbers tell a different story. FDA records show over 162,354 reported adverse events linked to Comfortis, along with 4,800 reported deaths. That's the highest raw adverse event count of any flea and tick product currently tracked. Comfortis comes as a chewable tablet that's absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, which is part of why it works fast against fleas, but also why reactions can show up just as fast. Some owners describe their dog vomiting within the first hour, followed by lethargy that lasts for days. Others report no issues at all across years of consistent use, which is exactly the inconsistency that makes this category so hard to navigate as a pet owner. Number 3. Bravecto. Bravecto markets itself around its convenience: one chew that's supposed to last up to 12 weeks, priced around $25 to $27 a month when averaged out. But post-marketing data submitted to the FDA shows deaths, in 2.4 to 2.5% of reported cases, and seizures appearing in 6.9% of reports for this exact drug. For a product designed to sit in a dog's system for 3 straight months, that's a long window for a reaction to develop, with no way to simply stop the dose. Once it's administered, there's no pulling it back out. Vets often recommend Bravecto specifically because owners forget monthly chews. But that same long-acting formula is the reason any adverse reaction can linger far longer than with a monthly alternative. Number 2. Credelio. Credelio runs about $28 a month and belongs to the same isoxazoline family as Simparica, NexGard, and Bravecto. Veterinary safety reports associate this drug class with neurologic reactions including tremors, lack of coordination, and seizures. And the unsettling part is that these reactions have appeared even in dogs with absolutely no prior seizure history. That detail matters because it means a clean medical history isn't necessarily a guarantee of safety with this entire category of pill. Credelio's tablet looks almost identical to a regular flavored treat, small, chewable, easy to disguise in food. Most dogs who take it never show a single symptom, but the reports that do exist all point back to the same shared mechanism across this drug class: disruption of the nervous system at a level strong enough to kill fleas and ticks within hours. Number 1. Seresto Collar. The Seresto collar costs around $7 to $8 a month, making it the cheapest option on this entire list, and one of the most widely sold flea collars in pet stores. But it's also the most controversial. The collar has been named in more than 100,000 incident reports filed with the EPA, and has reportedly been linked to as many as 1,700 pet deaths. Unlike a chewable tablet that passes through the digestive system, the collar sits directly against a dog's skin and slowly releases chemicals over months at a time, meaning constant low-level exposure for as long as it's worn. Owners have reported skin irritation, hair loss around the neck, and in more serious cases, neurological symptoms appearing weeks after the collar was first put on. Because the chemical is absorbed continuously through the skin rather than a single metabolized dose, some experts argue it's harder for the body to regulate compared to an oral treatment. Before I reveal the 2 brands that actually pass, if this is genuinely useful to you, hit the like button. It helps this channel keep researching things like this. And let me know in the comments which flea and tick brand your dog currently uses. Number 2. K9 Advantix 30. Tantitanin Trekund. K9 Advantix Tutuitanin Turitan Sandi Tuntuatutu costs around $12 to $15 a month and is applied as a topical treatment along the back of the neck rather than a chewable tablet. It doesn't belong to the isoxazoline class at all, which is exactly why veterinary sources list it as a safer alternative, specifically for dogs with a history of seizures or neurological sensitivity. Instead of targeting the nervous system pathway shared by Simparica, NexGard, Bravecto, and Credelio, it works through a different mechanism entirely, which is the key reason its adverse event profile looks completely different from the isoxazoline drugs on this list. The topical liquid spreads across the skin's natural oils within 24 hours, creating a protective layer that repels fleas and ticks before they even get the chance to bite. One important note: this product is toxic to cats, so households with both a dog and a cat need to keep them fully separated until the application has dried completely. Number 1. Frontline Plus. Frontline Plus sits at around $15 to $20 a month and uses an active ingredient called fipronil, which disrupts the central nervous system of insects through a completely different target than isoxazolines. This compound has been used in flea and tick prevention since 1996, giving it nearly 3 decades of real-world safety data behind it. Veterinary sources consistently recommend Frontline Plus as the go-to alternative specifically for seizure-prone dogs, precisely because its track record doesn't carry the same pattern of neurological adverse events as the newer isoxazoline class. The applicator is a small tube applied directly to the skin between the shoulder blades, an area dogs can't easily lick or scratch off. Within 48 hours, the active ingredient spreads through the oil glands across the entire body, killing fleas and ticks on contact rather than requiring them to bite first. For owners who've watched a dog go through an unexplained seizure after switching products, that single difference, killing pests on contact instead of through a bite, is often the deciding factor in switching back to something with a longer, steadier safety record. Vets often pair Frontline Plus with a simple flea comb during peak season, a small plastic tool dragged through the fur to physically check for activity, rather than relying on the product alone. That combination, a proven topical plus manual checks, is part of why so many long-term dog owners keep coming back to it, even as flashier chewable tablets dominate store shelves and clinic recommendations. At the end of the day, most dogs tolerate every product on this list without a single issue, and these treatments remain FDA approved for a reason. But when the numbers are sitting right there in a public database, it's worth knowing exactly what you're putting on, or in, your dog before you make that decision at the counter. So next time you're standing in that aisle or sitting in a vet's office being handed a sample box, take a second look at the label in your hand. Check the active ingredient, compare it against what you now know about each drug class, and decide for yourself whether the convenience is worth the risk for your own dog's specific history. If this video helped you make a more informed choice, subscribe for more deep dives into the pet products sitting in your own home, and drop a comment letting me know which brand surprised you the most.